Welcome back to the channel, everyone. My name is Ryan. This is Fine Detailing. If this is your first time joining, please consider liking and subscribing. I put out content weekly. Turn on the notification bell and you'll see when that content comes out. It's typically on Sundays if you're based in the US or North America, I should say. So today we have a fun one. I wanted to buy every chemical guy's wheel cleaner on the market. And as you see, there is a lot. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8-ish, and I'll get into the last one in a little bit. But what I did was I went on their website and put in, wheel and tire cleaner. I filtered by that, and then it brought me to this page of just so many options. It was crazy. So what I wanted to do was buy them all, test them all, and then report back to you and let you know, what I thought was good and what I thought you can skip on. And then just offer some thoughts in between. So we'll jump into it. Oh, by the way, I bought these at a local chemical guy store myself. No one paid for these. I spent $123.72 on everything you see in front of you. Yeah, so it was a little rough, but here we are. So we're gonna jump into the video, guys, and let's get into it. First one we're going to get into is the Diablo gel wheel cleaner. You can buy it ready to use, or you can buy it in this gel, and then they suggest you dilute it 1 to 3. It's kind of a sticky jelly substance, so I diluted it here 1 to 3 in this press-all. The wheels I tested these on weren't like super dirty. They were covered in some light brake dust, but for me, I just really want to test obviously cleaning power, and then lubrication is really important to me because even if you don't have piano black black wheels, we want to do a safe job and we don't want to scratch. So as you'll see, the Diablo wheel cleaner had pretty good a decent amount of suds. It felt very slick, which I enjoyed. I used this detail brush to kind of go over the surface. Overall, it was a pleasant enough experience. It doesn't say it has any iron remover properties. It just says safe for all types of wheels. Spot-free finish, removes brake dust fast, premium natural fragrance, rinses off fine, and good lubrication. This one is, it's decent. So that is your Diablo wheel cleaner. Next up, we have the Insight Foaming Color Changing Wheel Formula. Thick foaming pH balance, fast-acting cleansing formula to remove brake dust and road grime, changes color as it works. So this product is a ready-to-use product. It says spray it onto the wheel, let it sit for 10 to 15 seconds, then agitate with a soft brush, rinse wheel and clean with water, then dry with a premium microfiber towel. As you see, I'm spraying this on the wheel right now. It comes out blue, and I think it changes to, I think it's supposed to change to pink or white. It didn't change much, and as you can see, it was drying relatively quickly on the surface. I had to keep kind of spraying and the wheels were cold. It had been sitting there for a while. Our ambient temperature, I think, was probably in the low 80s, but the wheels had been sitting there. As soon as I went in there with the brush, all the suds dissipated. It didn't feel super slick. It felt like I was really just brushing the bare metal. So I don't know, like the color changing wheel formula, excuse me, the color changing wheel formula seems like a bit of a gimmick to me. And I wasn't really impressed, and I feel like you use more product this way in an aerosol can. It is 19 ounces, but that one wheel, I probably used 1/4 of a can. So cleaning on it I think it was okay. Again, it really just felt like I was pushing around water. All right, guys, this one's interesting to me because this is, it talks about quickly removing brake dust, dissolves dirt and grime, heavy duty cleaning. And then this actually does tell you that it is a wheel and tire cleaner. So I believe this is their only, directions. Yeah, so it says spray directly onto wheel and tires. So I believe this is their only dual use wheel and tire cleaner. So this one's pretty good in the sense, you don't have to use 2 different products. I did get pretty good sudsing, if you will. It felt like decent lubrication on the rims as I was going around. So I didn't mind this one so much. And I think when I looked this up, this one has like the highest concentration of raw ingredients in it. And then, I got some good, I don't know, I guess I like to see feedback, right? I like to see suds on the tires. So I got some pretty good feedback there. It kind of foamed up nicely, took off, helped to probably strip a little bit of the existing tire dressing. Next up, we're getting into Chemical Guy's two-phase wheel cleaner system. Changes color as it cleans, removes grime and brake dust, deep cleaning gel formula. This one was okay. It's a little bit thicker as it's obviously a gel. It says, let it sit for 1 to 2 minutes. It didn't have really a great spray function. It was kind of that straight spray versus like a fan pattern, as you saw. It did do a good job cleaning on the wheel because it was, it is a gel, so that's nice. So I know right away that that's going to create some good lubrication when I go in for the mitt, or if I go in for the brush, whatever media you choose to use there. So overall, it was decent. I didn't see any reaction really on the wheel, which could just mean it didn't really have much iron on it. I assume that's what it does, right? It doesn't talk about how it removes. Yeah, so it says it's acid free and pH balanced. So it doesn't say that it attacks iron directly. So I'm not sure why it changes colors. It just says changes colors as it cleans. So I assume it has some sort of chemical in it that does attack the iron. All right, guys, so while I let that dwell, I moved into their only dedicated tire and rubber cleaner. Restores a deep, rich OEM finish, rapid cleaning, help to remove results. It's supposed to be pink, I think, but my bottle's like a little brownish in color, so I don't know if it's gone bad or anything. But this didn't really clean a ton. There was some dressing left on the tires, and it didn't suds up very well. And I don't know, it just felt really underwhelming. It felt like everything kind of just went flat pretty quickly. Like I get some good suds there, as you see. Yeah, I don't know. It just was underwhelming. Again, it's a pretty well-kept car, but there was an old tire dressing on there I was hoping to strip, and I didn't get as much browning as I do from other traditional rubber and tire cleaners. All right, so here you see me going in with the mitt. As I mentioned before, it is a stickier gel-like formula, so there's actually some pretty good lubrication. Not a ton of suds, but it felt like I wasn't inducing any marring. It felt slick, which is nice, and then it rinsed off really well. So not too bad on the two-phase wheel cleaner. You see I have more purple on the ground than I actually did on the tire, which was interesting, or on the wheel, I should say. All right, next up, guys, we have our Iron Decon surface cleaner, iron decontamination. It's an iron remover, but again, this is listed under their wheel section, which we know we can use this on paint, glass, plastic, wheels. So I use this just to test it out. I let it dwell, I think, for 1 to 2 minutes, and it did its work. And then there were some iron particles in it, so it did brown, or I'm sorry, it did turn purple. So you can see kind of towards the center of the center cap, there's some purpling there. So we had some good reaction time. But again, the wheel probably wasn't super contaminated. Next up, we're moving into the Sticky Citrus Wheel Cleaner. This is also a bit of a thicker gel, residue-free, fast instant cleaning power, citrus-based, acid-free formula, safe for all wheels. Spray it on, agitate, go to town. So you saw me spray it on there and agitating. I got some really good lubrication. It felt really, really slick. Probably the best suds out of the bunch, and felt like it was doing a decent job cleaning. To be honest with you, I again haven't tested these on super hammered wheels, but no real like embedded brake dust. But again, like all I really want is like something that feels like it cleans well and has some decent slickness and some lubrication, right? Because we also want to avoid scratching on our wheels. So that is your Sticky Citrus Wheel Cleaner. And overall, I was pretty happy with that. So stick around, guys, and I'll give you my final thoughts on which ones I would buy and which ones I would avoid. All right, guys, thanks for sticking with me on that. I just wanted to take you through and kind of show you me using them. Again, I know they weren't super hammered wheels. A lot of people will say, well, those wheels were already clean. How can you tell? I've used enough wheel and tire cleaners like to see how they react, to see how they, if they fall flat, right? If there's not really any sudsing action, if they don't feel lubricated, right? So, there's just subtle differences that I can tell. And so I'm just gonna give you my honest opinion on which ones I think are decent, which ones, if you're thinking about picking up a wheel cleaner from Chemical Guys, which ones I would go with, which ones I would avoid. Now, the last one I told you I would talk about on the bench, this is called Nonsense Invisible Super Cleaner, color odorless, pH balance and neutral cleaning solution, lift and suspends dirt. It doesn't actually say where to use this. So it can be diluted or full strength, 20 to 1, spray directly onto the surface or into a microfiber towel. This was technically listed under the wheel and tire section, but as I was doing some further research, I decided not to test this on the tires. So I just have this random cleaning solution, which I don't need. So I often look at SDS sheets. Now, I'm not a chemist, but I will tell you, and I also want to say that like, not all ingredients have to be or are legally required to be disclosed on SDS sheets, really just the ones that are, could be dangerous, right? But the thing is, I looked at every SDS for every one of these products, and I think there was 2 or 3 where they had the exact same ingredient listed side by side, and then one was like literally less than 1%, and then the other one was 1 to 2.5%. So that tells me it could be 2 of the exact same wheel cleaners just at a slightly higher dilution, right? So for me, that doesn't really work for me. I don't love to see that, right? And then at such small concentrations, at less than 1% and 2%, that means the product's primarily water, right? Almost all water, likely. Now, all chemicals are pretty much all water, but when I look at some of the other, big competitors in the space on their SDS sheets with their active raw ingredients that they do list, I see 5%, 7%, 10%, 12%, 15%. I don't see 1%. Right? So that I find interesting, and I do wonder, I'm like, okay, well, are we just buying primarily water here? So that is something to consider. That said, on a more positive note, the ones that I would recommend out of these, if you are going to choose to use a wheel cleaner from Chemical Guys, I would skip all the all the hype products and all the ones that say, they change color. I think those are a little silly. I didn't really get a super great experience from these two. So the Insight and then the Too Faced wheel cleaner, I would probably skip. The tire and rubber cleaner, I would also probably skip. There's much better options on the market. Iron Decon, you can always get this. This is great to have in your arsenal if you're ever doing a decontamination wash. So nothing wrong with the iron. This product I didn't try, so we're going to omit. And then that leaves us with these 3 products, to use for your wheel and tire cleaner. So honestly, I appreciate that this is the Signature Series wheel cleaner. I appreciate that you can use it both on wheels and tires, which is very convenient. You don't have to buy 2 separate tire cleaners. So if you want an all-in-one product, this wasn't too bad. I really enjoyed this. And then I'm kind of torn between the Diablo wheel gel. A lot of people love this stuff, but to be honest with you, and it's nice that you can buy it in concentrate and you can dilute it. So there's really good value here on the Diablo, and it smells pretty good too for a wheel cleaner. So I don't mind this, but I do edge to the Sticky Citrus wheel cleaner. This one felt was the most enjoyable to use. I got the most lubrication out of it, and it kind of sudsed up, which is, again, maybe it doesn't mean anything, but I like to see that visual feedback of like my wheel cleaner kind of like foaming and sudsing up. Maybe it makes me feel warm and fuzzy that it's actually cleaning better. So for a maintenance wash, I think this could be a really good option for you, Sticky Citrus wheel cleaner gel. Like, I'll continue to use this likely for a couple more washes, and then I'll probably sell it on secondhand detailing. So guys, that's it. That's your Chemical Guys review. They have a lot of products on the market specifically designed to clean wheels and tires. If you're a Chemical Guys fan, more power to you. I just want to let you know that there's a lot of other products on the market that you can try, that you can trust. I'm not going to drop any names here, but if you want to follow my content, I do like to review a lot of products from a lot of big reputable brands, and I think there's some great options on the market. I just don't love when a brand has 8 different cleaners for the same task. It overwhelms your customers, right? People don't know what to buy and they have analysis paralysis. Make it simple, right? Make it simple for your customer. Have 1 product, 1 to 2 products that does the job in each category, and that's it, right? But when we're running out of content, we're running out of ideas, we want to just keep developing, and then we're not pulling old things off the market. We're not innovating, right? We're leaving older technology on the market, and then we end up with 8 different wheel cleaners. So for me, I think I think it's lazy, to be honest with you. And I think it honestly creates more confusion for customers. So do your research, folks. I hope this video was helpful. Drop it in the comments below. Do you use Chemical Guys wheel cleaner? Let me know your thoughts on which one is your favorite if you've ever used them before. And thank you guys so much. If you're still here, please consider liking and subscribing. And until next time, we'll catch you in the next one. Bye all.